basis to demand what you want, and then you're competent also to do it as well. Because if we had continued with African Circle, you realize that even when it comes to the NIMASA, which is Ghana's equivalent of GMA, reporting figures to IMO, they go to African Circle because they have all the data and all the records, and it's all in the computerized system, and that's what they pick and then report to IMO. But they have built a very good collaboration, so it works. We find ourselves in a very different situational context, but we can also talk to find a way to address it. It's possible, but it will take time. We'll get there.
What is wrong if GMA is setting higher record and also is
because of this tension, let's eventually get there. There's a tension, there is. So, but it will be eased. Exactly, yeah. So, but it will be eased eventually. Exactly. Because that's it. Everybody has a role to play. We'll get there. If you see what they said.
Yes, I'm coming. You see, we sometimes, you see, this GMA issue, it is creating problem for us. But for us to be, somehow liberal or very friendly, what they say, let's leave to them. And we do whatever we're supposed to do.
Thank you very much. What I want to say, he already hit it. If you are asked now to look at the record books, can you even interpret? The issue is that you need training. We need to get you to understand how to interpret what is there. So yours per se is not to whatever, but you need to understand the process of what you are doing. How come they even have that quantity of waste to discharge to you? There are technicalities, please. So build that capacity first, and then gradually we'll get there. Don't let us jump the gun. We have a problem. We want to talk through the problem to find solutions. But we'll get there eventually. It might take 5 years, but one day we'll be there. One day we'll be there. I trust.
I think the objective of GMA, for looking at the records book is different from your objective. You get the point. GMA is an enforcer. You are an operator. Inspector. They also inspect to make sure that the people are working within the regulations to enforce. Yeah, you need the data. You need the data for a specific purpose. You understand? Yeah.
It's a process. Yeah.
Sure.
We'll get there. So let's take emotion out, and then we'll get there. And that's why we have engagements, and then so we'll disagree to agree, and then agree to disagree. It always goes like that. But eventually we'll find a balance. We'll get there. We didn't start. Do you know how we started with this PRF? People are doing that job. And the board decided that we want to comply with MARPOL. So we want to institutionalize it and do the right thing. The challenge was with how do you deal with those who are doing the job already? Because they also felt that their bread was taken away from their mouth. Okay? Because they were doing it. Illegally or legally or whatever they were doing it. But nobody knew what they were collecting. Nobody knew what they were using it for. Nobody knew where they were discharging it. Some of them were even using it to treat pigs. They use a waste oil on pigs because the ticks on the pigs. And then we go and buy to eat. These are the realities. But we wanted to get into a system where we can get, things are happening, but you also need to balance it properly. What did we do? Okay, so that was when Tilbury came in, registered, but then there was a compromise. Tilbury collects, treats, and when you get the oil, give it to them. So they didn't lose their job. We had to trade a compromise. And that's how we do things. It was a big dialogue. I mean, it was in the papers, it was a big fight. But after all these things, they were happy. But today, all those were they? They are gone. None of them is in the system anymore. But then they were content that they still had their job. And then they were getting, well, oil that was properly treated. And then they were selling it to organizations with factories for finance. So it takes time. And this was 2004, 2005. Today you are here. So another problem that we will deal with them as we go along. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. For me, the problem we have in Africa here is that we put a square peg in a round hole, and that is a very big problem. We need to allow the institutions to work as an independent body without interference. Yeah, I think politics is one of the problem. Thank you.
So these are some of the things. So let's keep. I'm sure you are taking notes. Because they are giving
So I just want to add to the GMA-GPHA thing. Each institution was established by an act of parliament, okay, and each one has its rules. And as far as we are concerned, what we see in the rules of GMA, they are supposed to collaborate with other state institutions to ensure the enforcement of MARPOL. Okay? So definitely at certain point in time, our rules will overlap. We're also supposed to provide infrastructure in the port. You get what I mean? And the infrastructure to provide in the port is what you people are doing. Because we don't have space in the port, we have concessioned it out to third parties to handle it in your premises. It doesn't mean we the port authority should go and sleep. We have a duty of care to ensure that if we were to be doing it, what we'll be looking at, you are doing that on our behalf. That is why we will come to you and inspect your facility to ensure that you are doing what we have asked you to do. So the question is, if GPHA were to be doing that service in the port, will GMA say we should come and then seek license from them on an annual basis? That's the question. But they are not here to also speak from their side. I am speaking from my side, okay? Because I have a contract with you to do a certain service for me. So just do it for me. If you have any issues, come to me. Okay? So that is all I will say for now as far as the GMA, GPHA. It is not your battle. You have no this thing with GMA. So if you have any issue, just come to me as GPHA. And so for now, the fight, you don't have to come in. Leave that for the two institutions to do their fighting. And you just do your side of the contract between you and the one who granted you the concession. So I think we can make progress from here. Thank you.
Please, I have a small suggestion. No, not that. About the standardization of the certificates issued to the vessels. Is it possible for GPHA to print out these certificates for the operators, such that it will have their seal, probably a watermark, portions that they can fill out, so that it's the same form, the operator picks it and fill out their name and then whatever information that is required, they put it in there for the vessels. So when the vessels go out there, it bears the name of GPHA, but coming from different operators. Is it possible?
Mr. Moderator, yesterday I saw something.
Standardization of the certificate, fine. Yeah, it's an issue we can look at. But, I mean, we can't take that unilateral decision. We need to still do some engagement among stakeholders for us all to agree. The current situation, how is it affecting your work? If it's not adversely affecting your work, why fix it? If it's not broken, why fix it? Yes, if there's a problem to be fixed, we will dialogue and fix it. But if there is no problem, we don't, yeah.
Franco, wait. You see, on the certificate issue, if you can see the certificate, it has been designed in such a way that Ghana Port and Harbours Authority is boldly on it. Huh? Oh, no. But so some of the captains or the chief officers, they will read and they see MARPOL 73, 78 under the authority, Ghana Harbours. They say perfect. Then what did they?
Yeah, may I ask Wavok this question? Have you been challenged? Have you been challenged by any ship captain with your certificate?
No, I'm talking in terms of piracy. It can be possible.
If you say piracy,
Yes, I can sit in my room and also print it.
fine. And who is challenging that? Is it the ship captain that is challenging?
Yes, but I'm coming, I'm coming. I'm coming. Why that cannot happen anymore is this. We started from somewhere. There were no registered companies. So anybody was doing their own things. But today, there are registered companies. If a vessel is coming from Nigeria, it cannot bring any certificate apart from African Circle. No, it's not possible. Bring any certificate apart from that from African Circle. But that is the only company handling ship waste in Nigeria. That's it. If it's coming from Ghana, we know the companies. So if you do it in your office and it's under the name of the registered company by GPHA, it's normal. Exactly, it's normal. So it's not possible, at least between some countries where it has been institutionalized, it's not possible anymore. What we have to do is to move beyond the country to multiple country interactions so that we know that this company is in Douala, this company is in Kribi, this company is in Abidjan, this company is in San Pedro. And then the information is exchanged amongst us. And then there cannot be any fake because that company has been duly registered by the Port Authority. And therefore, a certificate from it is not fake. That's what I want to say. We understand what you're saying. If you want it standardized, it's an issue that, like he said, it can be looked at and then dealt with. So it can be looked at. We don't have to belabor it. I think if that's what you want and if that's what GPHA eventually, the ISO lady is here. Things that, okay, for the sake of blah, 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 can we standardize it in some way? I mean, that can be a corporate decision and then nobody loses, nobody gains. I mean, it's like everybody gains in a win-win situation. So, yeah, it's an issue on board. It will be looked at. Thank you so much. And then you will own the right of that decision. Yes, sir.
Just a contribution to my friend over here. You know, trying to, I just want to add something here. Basically, the issue you are raising is more of a design issue. And in as much as GPHA can even have a standardized design, your company as an entity is the one that is going in the shape and doing the work. So at some point, you have to validate and authenticate the work you did, not GPHA. So whether they have a seal or not is still going to be that entity. So it's not just something I think, is a must have.
Yeah, and if the certificate has a seal, and you still have an information to put on the certificate, it is the information that you can fake, but you said stamp and sign. And that one you can't fake it. You can even take the authenticated certificate and
I want to believe that if there's any traceability back to Ghana, and then they come to the Port Authority, we can confidently tell them that these are the number of port reception facility companies we are working with. And then you would then have to confirm whether you issued that exactly. So your records has to be. If you would have to serialize your certificate, then you serialize it with counterfolds with you. So when they come, like your checkbook, you can quickly go back to the dead part and see, okay, on this date, okay, I issued it, I didn't issue it. I want to believe that the maritime industry, you cannot easily do things and get away. There will always be traceability.
Can we hear your experience, and then I'll talk finally. Yeah.
I had a personal experience. When I went to the vessel, the master told me he's having, how do you call it, electronic waste and expired medicine. So I should take them out. I said no. He showed me a copy of a certain, how do you call it, his former port. That the certificate, they gave him two certificates. One was bearing the how do you call it, the garbage and the liquid waste. And the one was also bearing the electronic waste. And you can see that the electronic waste, it was man-made. It was prepared at that particular time. Stamped and signed by the same person.
So you don't even take it.
Excuse me. I think we've a lot. I think a lot has been said here. Can we just run it up? Lots of terminologies have come up, like traceability and stuff. And I think yesterday I told you a story of a vessel that handled waste in this country and was picked up in Germany. And when they did their tracing and they realized, they went to that company's website. Now, certificate or not, your name, your company's name has to be there because of traceability, so it's there. So they mentioned the name of the company, went to the company's website, and the company's website didn't show that it was a MARPOL company. So they called me. You are in West Africa, we work with you. Could you kindly check from Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority if this company is a MARPOL company